Mr. Myers.
Miss Brawner.
Nick, how are you guys doing?
I'm doing good.
Good. All right, this is our third session, correct? Our second session with you sitting in. I'm glad you're here. I know that our goals for last session, we'll start with you, Mr. Myers, that I know last session we talked about your drinking habits and that we really like to cut those from 5 drinks a night to around 2 and to have you work on being more abstemious in that area of your life. How's the job? I know we worked that out last session and you were able to get a job at the factory job. How's that going?
It's a second shift because I take my son to school, so I give up all day to, do that, and I'm able to come home and still drink, which is good. But by taking him to school, I don't get to drink nearly as much in the morning. That's frustrating. But I do have a job. They're flexible. Yeah.
Okay, so it sounds like it's going overall pretty well. You feel like taking him to school is messing a little bit with your abilities to drink, and that's still a high dependency for you.
Well, that and
drinking morning
his
and
mother
night.
wouldn't have just dropped him and left him like she did both of us, then I'd be quiet. I told you to be quiet in this interview.
No.
If she hadn't dropped us like that, then but yeah, I take care of my obligations.
I just want to step in and say that I do want to hear from your son in this session, and that's why he's here, because I know that part of the issues going on in your life is your all's relationship. And so I do want to say that I would like to hear from him as much as I'd like to hear from you.
My apologies.
Nick, can I get some feedback from you?
Yeah, well, school has been going better.
How are your goals? I know we wanted to get your attendance up and your grades up to at least a C average. How's that going?
Well, attendance has gotten better. Over the past month, I did miss 10 days of school, but that's that's better than last time. The grades have gotten a little better. I have 2 C's, but some of the D's have gone down to F's.
Okay.
But that's kind of, I feel like the grades are more based upon what is going on in the household and how argumentative the household has become.
Do you feel like the goals were a little overwhelming, or do you think we need to shift gears a little and focus on the relationship?
No, I feel like the goals were perfectly fine. They were perfectly set, but the household, like I said, is gotten out of control again.
And can I just ask that, Nick, that you put your phone away during our session? I'd really like to get your full attention and your feedback while we're here. Thank you, I appreciate it. Mr. Myers, I see you shaking your head and rolling your eyes at some of the stuff that he's saying. Can I hear from you a little bit about your relationship at home and the issues going there?
Oh, things are fine. I tell him to do his work, and he doesn't want to do his work because of, I pay the bills, I put a roof over his head and everything.
Tell me to do my work, okay? Well, you yell at me to do my work.
I tell you to do your work. I am your father. Remember that.
Yell at me to do my work. Telling is just asking nicely. Like she asked me nicely to put my phone up. But you yell at me to do my work.
You are to do your work as set by the goal. That's it.
Can I just step in here for a second and remind you guys that this assessment and this intervention is supposed to be solution-focused, and I really want you guys to put that in your minds and change your attitudes a little bit, that we don't want to focus on the problems or on the problems of each other, and that we want to focus on ourselves and on the solution, because from the studies that have gone on, that's more effective in sessions such as this, is if we focus on the solutions rather than the problems.
Ever since the divorce, it's been extremely difficult.
Tell me a little bit about that.
She packed up and left. She did cheat on me. That was true, with 4 different men. And she left with one that didn't even catch his name. She took almost everything. She took almost all the money that I had saved up. She even took the money that she had stashed away for his college. Took it all. And I was fired from that job, and we discussed that in the previous session. And she left him behind. It was all that I could do, okay?
Didn't have to start drinking,
We Would you rather me do
make
drugs?
A whole lot more worse. Drinking is just as bad as drugs. Okay?
Guys, I'd like it if you, when you interact with each other, that you'd be aware of your tone.
Oh, this is a pleasant conversation, Ms. Brawner.
Compared to home?
Well, it's a little louder, but it's still not a problem.
Okay.
I don't think it's a problem.
Okay, while we're in here, I just want you each to feel safe and that you can say your opinions without worrying about what the other person will say. And so I ask that you would be respectful of your father's opinions and his views, and I ask that you would do the same with your son.
I think the problem is the wife leaving.
Okay. I do want to point out, because I hear you saying that she took everything. I do want to point out the fact that you have the blessing that she did not take Nick, and that you do have that. And I want to remind you of that fact. Because you were, in our last session, before he started coming, that you were very thankful that you still had your son. And I just want to remind you of that fact from our last session.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, go on, speak, okay?
What else am I supposed to say?
Can I hear about how the divorce has affected you?
Oh, yeah, it's, well, as you know, grades have dropped. That's the least of it, quite frankly. You know that I've gotten into serious depression, and that also has affected me, and the yelling and the screaming, the constant fighting in the household does not help the issue.
Okay. Would you say that that is the source of your depression and of your problems at school?
Absolutely.
Okay. So let me just take a step back here, and do you think that we need to reorient our goals for you to revolve around your relationship and around your drinking habits? Do you think if that was fixed, that would help your school progress?
As long as he's willing, yeah.
Okay. Because I heard you say previously that he's not helping you with your homework. He's telling you to do it and yelling at you. And
yeah.
Okay. Mr. Myers, would that be a probable goal to set for you, is to help your son with his homework when he needs it? Because I know you have the desire to see him succeed.
Yes, but it's asking to just give up drinking entirely in order to do that, and there's that void, and it's really hard to fill that void.
Okay.
It's extremely difficult. I mean, I want to help you, but it just comes out as yelling. It comes out as like that, and I don't know how else to convey that properly.
Yeah, it kind of hurts me every time you yell at me. It doesn't really help.
Well, it doesn't help when you yell back.
I like this communication that you guys are having. I just want to give you that feedback that you're telling each other how you feel. I really like that. And I'd like you to employ this more often, these I feel messages. And I'd like you to do that too, Mr. Myers, because I know that you're more closed off than Nick is. Do you think that if you helped him before you started your evening drinks, that would cut out the yelling?
Well, I've usually drank before I even get home from work, and he's already there, so.
Okay.
I mean, it's a long day at the shift. I mean, it's thirsty. Mm-hmm. Of course I'm going to.
What are your hours as a second shift?
Usually go in about 11 and get home around 9-ish,
okay.
10-ish. It just changes.
Okay. Do you think that could be a goal that we could set? Is for you to not start drinking until after you've helped Nick get his homework done? Because it seems like the alcohol is an enabler for that barrier to come down, and that's when the anger starts to surge.
Well, normally I drink beforehand, because if I drink late at night, then he starts yelling at me for crying all night. And I figured that was the better solution, was to drink before, so it didn't have to be. You sleep better, don't you? Don't hear me cry every night.
Yeah. No.
What would you prefer, Nick? Because it sounds like he thinks that you would prefer that he would drink beforehand, but then that entails the yelling. What would be your preference?
I feel like the drinking just needs to stop. It's taking over our home. It's ripping this family apart. It needs to stop.
remember who you are speaking to.
It's okay to convey feelings. I hear your frustration, and there's almost a hopelessness there because you feel like he doesn't want to give it up. Is that correct?
Yeah, the goals that you set is to drink a little bit less, just to drink a little bit less. It needs to stop entirely. No more drinking.
Okay. What are your feelings on this, Mr. Myers?
Well, you know what, I've read up on this, since we've talked this about the third time. And, if you couldn't tell, son, you can't give up by yourself. It's the only reason why I'm here, because I can't give up by myself. I just can't convey to you to how to help me, because I don't know how you can help me. I don't know how anybody can help me. Literally, there's nobody else I have besides you. Literally, nobody.
Mr. Myers, you're feeling really hopeless in the situation as well, as much as Nick, if not more. And you feel like you can't give up the drinking?
Give it up for what? To have what instead?
Me!
I already have you.
Have more of me. You never see me. It's 11 to 9. Okay, for most people, that's when they go to bed.
Well, then you just stay up.
What?
Simple as that. You fix it right there.
I think that as a solution, that I do want to point out the fact that you both need to give. You need to be able and be willing to negotiate with each other. Do you think that drinking, cutting it out entirely, is probable? And is that a goal that you wish to achieve?
But give it up for what? Yes, but for what? I mean, it's not just you. I don't have you with me all the time to do that, to try to get me from not thinking like that, from me not thinking about your mother, not thinking about... I don't have you glued to my hip. It's that, yes, it could be, but for what? But that's why I'm here, is because so we can find a solution.
Okay. Nick, from what you have said, it sounds like the solution to him giving up drinking is that he'd have a better relationship with you.
Yeah. I mean, it's never... Drinking in every single family always just causes issues. It always causes issues. You can't have a better relationship when there's alcohol in the way. When he's having a bigger relationship with alcohol than with his own son.
Okay. Can I get your thoughts, Mr. Myers? I see a lot of anger in your expression and in your posture. Can you talk that out with me?
Stop attacking me. Look at yourself while I'm looking at myself. Gosh, you're 18 years old. Think like an adult. Just for a little bit. You're going to college next year. Just look at yourself instead of attacking me.
Can I step in again and say that I really think that one of our main goals to be set for this session is for you guys to really convey I feel messages. And instead of, because what I hear when you're saying this is you. And it has to do with you, but you're pointing all the accusing fingers at him. And that rises defensiveness in the other person. But just if you were to say, Nick, I really feel like you're attacking me and my drinking issues, and I see it as an issue, and I know it's an issue, but I'm not feeling any support from you. Do you see the difference in the two? Okay. Okay, and Nick, I'd ask the same from you this coming month. And you've already conveyed that you know that and that you have that ability, and I really see that strength, and we just need to build upon it, is for you to convey your feelings to your father without pointing accusatory fingers.
How would we do that? Because that's just always gone. That's how it's always been. How do we change that? How do we...
The main thing is alcohol cannot be involved. Because from what I'm hearing from both of you is that it is an enabler and causes the issues and the problems and the arguments and the yelling. And if you sit down and if you're just really aware of your posture, of your face, of your tone, and it's a skill, it's really going to have to build up. And what we can do, we can even role play that in this session. And so you just have to be really aware of yourself and of what you're saying, and think it through before it comes out. And when you guys start feeling that anger rise and that frustration rise in your tone, that you just take a break. And you agree, okay, this is enough, this is good for today, let's chill for a little while. Do you guys want to try that in our next session?
I'm willing if she's willing.
Okay. I would like you guys to try that this week. Let's make that our focus. Because it seems like our goals from last session didn't go so well. So I'd like us to do that from between now and our next session, is for you guys to really be aware of your own emotions when you're speaking to each other, and that you would really try to develop those I feel messages. And we'll see how that goes in our next session, and if it goes well, good, and if not, then we can try and role play that in our session. Sound good?
All right.
Okay. Thank you guys. I'm glad you guys got to come.